Boobies!
All right. Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, welcome back.
Welcome to Boobies.
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 Ooh.
The podcast. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Joshua.
Yay. And you don't know this, but because it'll come out a week later from the first one for y'all, but it's been a month.
1 whole month.
Yep, since we have recorded. So I don't remember anything we said on the last one. If I repeat something, ignore it. Just pretend it's the first time you've ever heard it.
Yeah, we'll be listening first time with you when it comes out.
Yep. So
It's,
don't be that person that's like, you've already told us this. Like, fuck off, okay?
True bonding experience.
Yeah, because we don't know.
It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
We're working this out.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
movie we watched, I last watched it a month ago. It's not streaming anymore until I guess it comes out
But that's okay
and out of theaters.
because it's still locked in the memory box of your head.
No,
It's there.
I forget
We'll get there.
everything.
We'll pull it out.
Yeah,
We'll
I got
pull
some articles that help stemmed or
Like,
help kick my butt a little bit
Mhm.
to remind me. So that's gonna be fun.
just imagine those memories, those memories being the key, like from Saw, and she has to get it out. We're gonna go there.
Saw. I
Mm.
haven't thought of Saw in a long time.
Yeah. Well, kind of ties into today-ish, I guess, because we're talking about The Devil Made Me Do It,
Yes.
which executively produced by James Wan, which James Wan was a part of Saw, right? He directed.
No
Or
clue.
I think he was a part of that too. Yeah.
I appreciate your knowledge
Yeah.
because I did not know that. But
I
that's a fun fact. I
actually
like
want
it.
to say that he directed the first like 3 of them, like for sure.
Like Google it, and I'll
Um,
tell y'all about my haunted-filled horror trip in California. So I went to California recently, last week, 2 weeks, 2 ago. I don't know at this point, but I got to go to Madame Tussauds or Tussauds. Is it a yes?
It's a yes. Yeah,
Dope.
he was the director for that one, for a few of them, not all of them, for a few of them.
There's so many now.
I know, right?
They just keep
But
coming.
he was the overall like executive producer as well.
That's dope. Oh, I didn't
Mhm.
tell you about my shirt yet. I'm
Cool.
I got Mike Myers on my shirt, and it's him with a knife, and it says, just the tip. Just the tip. So it's pretty funny.
I love that shirt, by the way. Didn't read it
Skin.
at first, but it makes like even better now. So tidbit, I guess, about that is he actually is the co-creator of the Saw franchise,
Yeah.
the Insidious franchise, and the creator of the Conjuring universe.
Oh, well, cool. I
So-
don't like Insidious at all.
From the same mind, though.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I really couldn't give 2 shits about any of the Insidious films.
Well, also too, I guess maybe he didn't either because it kind of seemed like that dropped off and the focus got put on all of the Conjuring
Yeah.
universe. Yeah,
He was like, this is more successful because it was better.
more money.
Yeah.
Yay.
But yeah, man, Insidious, it's just Darth fucking Maul in the first movie. It's the bad guy, the little demon goat man.
I do remember when I first watched that though, the scene where the grandmother is telling them how she's had a dream, and she saw him in the corner, and he's like, and
Yeah,
then points at the kid. That it wasn't necessarily scary, but it was just like something that in my head, like I can just visually see it all the time.
yeah.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
it sticks with you, that does make it scary. Yeah, I just remember going like that. And I mean,
Darth Maul.
I was in high school, I think, when the first
Mm-hmm.
Insidious came out.
It's 2010.
Yeah, so yeah, I was in high school, and I remember just being like, no,
I did
absolutely not.
did really enjoy though, I guess because it was James Wan, the cinematography of it, or like even the opening, how it has like that almost kind of like The Conjuring does too. It has that like very gravitas, like I
Yeah.
don't know. Mm-hmm.
I think I need to go. I'm sure we will rewatch them and cover them
Mm-hmm.
on here. So I do need to go back and rewatch them, and maybe I'll have a new opinion now. Maybe I'll go, oh, that was good, or I'll come back and say, no, I still hate it.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
We'll see. But maybe I'll be able to appreciate the cinematography a little bit more. I don't think I really cared about that stuff in high school. I was like, did I scream? No.
Was I
hate it.
good?
Yeah.
It's okay.
So I was uncultured.
It's good to have different opinions though. So
True.
can bounce off of each other.
Yeah, because we're probably not going to like all the same movies.
Maybe not. I remember
Sometimes I'm real easy to please. Other times I'm not. Like with the American Horror Story
Put that on a shirt.
With the American Horror Stories we watched the other day, I was like, it was dumb as fuck.
Yeah, it was pretty.
The acting was bad. The acting was so bad.
One actor in particular, but yeah,
Yes.
Overall it was a little.
He ruined
cringe.
it for most of the other people.
And I couldn't tell if it was trying to be comedic or like
I
almost
feel
on
like-
itself. Like, was he supposed to be that bad?
Yeah. Probably. I feel like no, he wasn't supposed to be that bad. But I feel like Horror Story AHS does put comedy in to an extent to like where I'm like,
Very
okay.
Ryan Murphy.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, can we stop? Like, I'm
Or I
here to
feel
be
like
scared.
sometimes he does stuff that probably doesn't even he think it's not even funny to him, but then or whatever it is, cheeky or cliche or I don't know, corny. And then like he'll just own up to it later and be like, oh yeah, I meant to do that.
Yeah, totally. You thought that was funny, me too. Kind of thing.
Wrote it myself.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyways, well, I went to Madame Tussauds,
Yes.
wax museum lady. She's got a few of them, I guess, across the land, or at least this great state, or stupid, whatever we call it, country.
No, I think they're everywhere. They're even over
In London
they're
and
everywhere.
shit?
Yeah.
Okay, so worldwide.
She's making bank.
Yeah, good for her. She's dead. I got to see her death mask. That was pretty cool.
What
they had
is
that.
a death mask?
So it's when you die and they take a cast of your face.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah, me too. Before you cremate me.
Make like 100
get a
of them,
nice
have
little-
a party, give them out as party favors.
Yeah.
Everybody can go
You
mount
can
them.
all wear at my funeral. Please all wear my face.
That would be awesome.
That'd be a total
like
me
the
thing.
Masquerade.
They'd be like, okay, yeah, this fucking bitch. She is weird.
She was full of herself the
yeah.
whole time.
I am. Oh, I love it. But they had this little horror exhibit in the corner. Or in the corner. It wasn't in the corner. It was like in the middle of everything. But the first little stop was Alfred Hitchcock, and it was Psycho,
Yeah.
obviously.
Ooh.
And so as I believe I did say on the last episode, was one
Your
of my
favorite,
faves.
yeah.
Kind of started it all for me. Not scary at all, but at the time, I mean, it was pushing some
Yeah.
boundaries,
When
just
it-
like The Exorcist
When
was.
it came out, yeah, horror wasn't necessarily the thing that it wasn't the flickers that were being made back then.
So like there was talk about people in the lines and stuff for that movie as well coming out and being like, and then the lines they have footage from some of it, and like you can actually see some of the lines outside of the theaters in I believe Hollywood, where it's just like people are lined up for like almost a mile. It looks like. Maybe that's just a really good camera trick.
Probably.
Trick, but
And
it was cool.
We've learned over time too that people just love to eat it up.
Yeah,
More,
they
scare me,
do.
thrill me.
That's the whole point and whole reason we're here. And hopefully you are too. I also
Yes.
thought this could be a great way for people who are too scared to watch horror movies, but like have someone that loves it in their life, and then they
Yeah.
can just listen to this, get the gist of it,
Let us just
and not have to be scared.
Mm-hmm.
So without giving away too many spoilers and stuff. But yeah,
So if you're listening out there and you have a friend that doesn't like watching scary movies,
but you want to talk about it,
just have them listen to our
make
podcast.
them listen, and then you can have a discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, make your friends listen to us anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But so I was there, and the Madame Tussauds, that little area, what it was a wax figure of Alfred Hitchcock holding a little director sign. It said beep beep, and then behind him was a bathtub, and it had the little. You could kind of pull the shower curtain. I didn't want to touch it because I was scared I'd break it. I almost knocked freaking Whoopi Goldberg over at one point.
No, not
Yeah.
Whoopi.
I know. I was like, ooh. But
What was she as?
she was from Sister Act.
Sister Act.
Yeah, one of my favorites. That is one of my favorite movies, Sister Act 1, and I actually like 2 better.
I can't I watched them. I know when I was younger, but I can't say that. I remember
They're on
them.
Disney Plus,
Okay, I'm gonna have to get into that.
so go give them a watch. But I got in the little bathtub, and then you can take the photo, and then like it's got like a nice little strobe with red and stuff. So when you take the photo, you get a few different lights. But the shadow of Norman Bates is on the wall with a big old knife.
Yeah.
And so I took a picture screaming, going,
Murder.
behind Hitchcock, like I was in the movie. So that was cool. And then
you sent pictures, right? I think in the group chat.
yeah, I think I sent y'all the one of Psycho. I know I for sure sent y'all the one of me as Georgie with the balloons.
That's the one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to add those to the Instagram.
Yes,
people can see
for
what
sure.
you're talking about.
And so they had a big old corner that was just filled with giant red balloons. And then they had a light on it, which literally made like this iPhone photo come out like almost studio quality. Like it looks cool.
Yeah.
And then they had a little yellow raincoat you could put on. And then so you got to be Georgie and go stand in the corner. And then like the first picture of me running up there, I just have like this look of pure joy on my face. And it's kind of blurry, but you can see my face being like, it's just completely
fantasy.
lit up. And I'm running over to the balloons while putting on this jacket. And then I took some nice little serious ones standing with the balloons. They also had Dracula. And then they had a little mummy, and you could get in the sarcophagus with him, or not with him, next to him. They had one next to him. And then they also, they had the TV from Poltergeist. So I got to sit down in front of that, put my little hands on it. It was a giant TV. I know they didn't have TVs this big.
Yeah.
But
like as big as.
it did make me look like a child.
For reference.
It was like, it was bigger than that. It made me look like I was a small, like 6 or 7 year old, however old she was in the film. So that was cool. And they had an Edward Scissorhands. I don't think he was technically part of the horror exhibit, but it was still.
They were like,
cool.
It's close enough. Put it right in the middle.
Yeah, they put him. I think it was like the next thing you could see after you walk out of that little horror room. And so I got to sit in a salon chair, and he has his little scissors all around my head.
Awesome.
And I was like, yay.
I just saw some chick at the gym yesterday with an Edward Scissorhands t-shirt.
And give her
A little shout out now. Right? I will.
Edward Scissorhand girl, listen.
For real.
Say I gave you a shout out. And
She was lifting too. She was getting it.
she was getting them gains.
Good for her.
But yeah, and then I don't remember if I said this last time or not, but when I went on the Universal Studios tour in California, like 4 years ago, this was not the same time, I did get to see the set for Bates Motel, I think for Psycho, but they had the Bates Motel up at the front. They didn't have the big old house and stuff behind it, but they had Bates Motel, and then they had a little cardboard cutout of Norman Bates in the window.
That's cool.
And so that was super exciting.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of the whole tour. That and the Jaws exhibit, because
I love Jaws.
next to it, it's like you're like in this little car, and then all of a sudden you're next to the water, and this shark is like doo 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 doo, and it like comes out, and then it's like fire. There's fire.
I think I've seen videos of that online somewhere.
I was like, what the fuck? It's on fire. Everything's so it was hot too.
Yes.
I was like, eek.
We'll have to do a whole series on Jaws too.
Yeah. Because it's a horror film.
Horror, yeah. And especially when it came out back then, everybody was just terrified.
I'm very afraid of sharks.
It is.
The movie itself doesn't scare me just because I'm like, it's same with like aliens and stuff. Like aliens don't scare me. Like I have trouble kind of classifying them as paranormal or anything. Like I know a lot of paranormal.
It's more sci-fi.
Yeah. But like paranormal podcasts and stuff cover aliens a lot.
Yeah.
And they aren't like, I believe in them. And if they were to actually come, I would be fucking scared. But it's just like when I watch like any...
They're already here.
Alien, they live among us. They're the people in the mailboxes, just like Men in Black said.
Aw, for real. Those are good movies.
It
is.
is.
Yeah.
I like them.
I like them too. Did you watch the third one?
I don't remember.
I was way off topic.
Now we're talking about Men in Black.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's fine.
But it would be cool. To like go back in time and like visit actual sets.
Yeah.
Of like when things were being filmed and like see how everything was.
Maybe we'll become famous enough that we'll get to go on current movie sets.
Yes, that would be freaking amazing. So if you're hearing this, we're here.
Yeah. If you let us on your movie set, we won't diss your movie on our podcast.
You'll get all the boos from us.
Yes. All the boo ratings.
All the boo ratings.
But right now, we are about to diss a movie. No. I am.
I in hindsight, I've thought a lot over it, and I kind of enjoyed it. I mean, we will say that it's the lesser of the trilogy.
Yes.
But
And I believe we did say earlier, but yes, we are talking about The Conjuring
The Devil
3.
Made Me Do
The
It.
Devil Made Me Do It.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, drink that water.
I can't do my devil voice.
It's too early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so The Devil Made Me Do It. Gonna be talking about that one. Third movie in the Conjuring franchise trilogy.
In the Conjuring series, because yeah, with the whole
apart from the other
franchise, they've got some spin-offs and stuff. But yeah, so we watched it right after we watched it the day it came out.
Yeah.
And then we also watched
The Exorcist right before it.
Exorcist, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we watched them together, and that's why we're like, we'll do this one next week. We weren't expecting to not record again for a month. So
life just kind of comes at you.
Yeah. But we're gonna, try our best to recount it and do everything. And it really wasn't a terrible movie. I will say I was like a little bit glad it wasn't still on HBO Max, because then I was gonna have to watch it again.
Sit through the whole thing. That's the horror in itself.
I was gonna skip through parts.
It's like,
which is saying a lot, because I absolutely love the Conjuring universe.
Yeah.
The first one, I saw that multiple times in theaters. It's like a Christmas tradition for my father and us to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Oh, I love that.
It's we watch it like almost every time we're together, which happens to just be at Christmas. So,
set the alarm.
Yep, it's like a Christmas movie for us.
Yeah.
And no point does it cover Christmas, but that's fine.
Well, it's bringing the family together, and isn't
Yeah.
that what Christmas is really?
The holiday spirit.
A holiday spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say Christmas.
And spirits.
I love it.
The devil. Yeah. Hopefully the devil's not in any of my family. If it is, it's probably me.
It seemed like such a hassle to have to deal with nowadays.
Yeah.
Like,
I ain't got no time for possession.
I'm sure there's an app though that could exorcise them.
Probably now. They got that for everything.
And just start like hit play and it starts speaking Latin.
Yeah. Hey, and then it can't stop if it sees you're reacting poorly and stuff. So
yeah, literally.
It'll be fine.
Let the AI handle
Although
it.
they could probably, I feel like a demon could come over.
One day
and
we are
mess
going
it
to
up.
get a movie where it's like AI versus spirits.
Oh, dope. Someone get on
Yeah,
it. I'd
For
watch it.
real. I would too, actually.
I'd be like,
that sounds like a Netflix special, like straight to Netflix kind of
Okay,
thing.
let's go Netflix. Pick it up. But so I really do love the Conjuring universe. I had, not every single film in it has been great. La Llorona, we don't talk about. It's fine. We just pretend that movie never existed.
Well, speaking of La Llorona, the same director, Michael Chaves, he's the same guy who directed this movie, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Love it.
When I found that out, I was like,
This makes more sense. Yeah, I had real high hopes for that because the whole lore behind La Llorona is like, sorry, I'm going to say it so white.
It's okay.
It's amazing. And so when that movie came out, I was like, oh. And I had high hopes because Velma was in it.
Oh, Velma.
RP, she's not dead.
But
that movie,
that performance,
is dead to
dead
me.
in my heart.
Anyways, we'll talk trash about that later.
Next time,
I'm sure.
We're going to be covering the whole franchise.
But the first I've seen at least 50 times. Easy.
Yeah.
The second one I've seen multiple times too. And I will say they recently put that on Netflix. And I tried to watch it by myself. And there's a lot of toys involved in that movie. And I collect a lot of dolls.
The Crooked Man.
Yes. And so then I was sitting by myself, like watching it and in the dark and stuff with all my dolls and like little circus like crackers and toys and stuff next to me. And I was like,
I've been to your house and I know you have so many dolls in there.
And so I started to get a little bit nervous and I actually did have to turn it off because I was like, oh fuck, this is getting to me right now.
And guys, this isn't like just like this. These are like porcelain dolls, like
with no eyes, some with no arms,
spooky looking dolls.
One's named Annabelle. She has her whole chair.
Literally.
I did really like most of the Annabelles. There's a few wasn't the biggest, like, I didn't hate them, but I was just like, yeah. But this one,
The Devil Made Me Do It.
I had high hopes, was super excited for it to come out.
Same.
We both were, yeah. And overall, it was good. Like, I enjoy the stories that they were covering. It just, it fell short.
It did. Well, I guess too, maybe because James Wan directed the first two, and he has such a strong like vision and like I think in the way that he makes a movie, you know, and the pacing and how it goes.
And this one was so convoluted. Like it was almost hard to keep up with the storyline because it was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I understand that like a lot of that is kind of how it happened, but I felt like they were trying to tie in too many things at once to really make it like a clear movie.
Yeah, well, because what they were doing is they were trying to play off of the true story of Arnie Johnson, right? And his whole case and how he was the first person to claim, you know, demonic possession. The devil made him do it for murder. But somehow along the lines, because, you know, it's Hollywood and they've got to, you know, spice it up a little bit, spice it up. They started getting into like more of like the witchcraft and like bringing in this other third character into it.
Yeah. And that's where it like really started to lose me. And then the attacks on like the Warrens themselves kind of thing. I don't think that was legitimate. And then my other thing with, Ed wasn't able to, but Lorraine Warren actually offered like her help for the first two movies. Like she helped, you know, state whether or not she this actually happened and kind of helped guide it. And of course they had to take some artistic liberties because it's Hollywood. They got to dramatize it a little bit. But unfortunately she died before this one went into production. So she was not able to be there.
Yeah.
And this one focused on the Warrens kind of the most of the three.
More on their family.
Yeah. And so, but there was just some stuff like where it got into the Warrens itself, and so like it felt like there was like 4 different storylines happening throughout the entire movie.
I can agree with you on that.
And I was like, what like pick one or two. I mean, like I can keep up with a film that's got, you know, multiple kind of plots going. But this one was just so much.
Maybe like he bit off more than he could chew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was trying to fit it into like
an hour and whatever long it is.
Yeah. They could have, I feel like, made 2 movies out of the stuff that they had, or just left out the witchcraft stuff, which I believe some of it actually did kind of spawn from, like, I believe that like planting underneath the house kind of thing was actual. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like they just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, it really took center hold of the whole movie.
And then overall, it wasn't very terrifying. There was one scene where I went, that would freak me right the fuck out if I saw it. And it was when,
the tunnel scene.
The tunnel scene, yes. And so she's running and she's got that mirror image of like her with her. And that, I saw that and I was like, oh no, that would make me want to piss my pants. Like,
yeah, I'd freak out too.
Yeah. And so, and then even then, like I was watching it and I went, oh, nope. Like, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
But literally no other part of that movie, I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then like the little boy at the beginning, I don't know. I was like, how's your body not dead?
Oh yeah. Well, an actual fact of that too is I saw some behind the scenes stuff is they actually had a real, like, I'm sure she's like Russian or European or something like that, you know. She is a contortionist. Oh. And so that was a real person
doing that?
Yeah, and they just put like a little boy, like the green mask like over her head.
CGI
and they CGI'd his face and head over her body.
Yeah, because that body was moving. Yeah. It was doing some wild shit.
All real.
Dope. That's cool. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. I have a more appreciation for that scene.
Give them props for that. Yeah.
And I thought that maybe they were going to go a little bit further with that. I got this one confused with the actual case behind The Exorcist, what inspired it. And I believe I briefly mentioned that on last week's episode. But yes, because the way that The Exorcist actually happened was, now I don't have his name pulled up anymore, but that haunting, it all stemmed from this little boy and being with his aunt, and the aunt like kind of was into spiritualism and stuff like that, had a Ouija board. They played with it together, and then it invited a spirit into the house, which that kind of happens in this film, doesn't it?
It happens in The Exorcist.
Or it actually does happen in The Exorcist, but with the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because she's downstairs, remember?
Yes. That's right. Okay, so I keep getting them confused
Yeah,
in my
well,
head.
it's because I feel like too. Also, this movie did play a lot of homage to the actual Exorcist movie, like we saw in that scene when the priest is pulling up to the house, and how it kind of really emulates the Exorcist.
That's
and how
true.
it does that.
The opening
Scene
the house itself
was very similar.
To the actual house of that possession.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why at first I was like, oh, because Zach Bagans and Ghost Adventures, not my faves, but I still watch it.
Yeah.
They actually did go do like a ghost. I think it was their 100th episode. They did that house of that possession.
Mm-hmm.
And so the house looks pretty similar, except for I don't think it was actually brick. It was brick and not like paneled, but the shape of the house and everything was quite similar. So that's kind of an aside, but it felt like it paid a lot of tribute because in my brain I was getting them confused.
Well, and coming from just watching the two as well, it was back to back, so I can see that. But they paid homage. I did like and going back to hindsight, thinking over it, they really set it up to where it was very like from the get-go, like we jumped into it and Ed has that heart attack, at the very beginning. So at that point it's already like he's out of commission and like they're trying to fight this demon in spirit,
and that's like his job.
He's the only one that knows that the character who took so if y'all haven't seen it, just laying the groundwork, it starts off with a child who is demon possessed. The whole family is there. Ed and Lorraine are there, and they're trying to exorcise the demon out. And at some point the brother has a sister, has a boyfriend who is there, and he tells the demon, come into me.
Yeah, like leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
And that is our main character. One of four main characters, Arnie Johnson.
And I will also say, rule number 1, maybe don't tell the demon or spirit to enter your body.
Yeah.
Willingly.
I guess I understand where he's coming from. If I was seeing a young kid going through that, like, and it was someone I cared about, because he was very clear, like they were talking about getting married, stuff like that. So it's like he's close to his family. It's not
the
like
sister
some
and the brother,
little kid.
Not the little kid.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. But like he wasn't. It's not like he had just started dating this bitch, and they were, not very close. Like this, I'm sure he viewed this little boy as like somewhat of a brother to himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think if I was in a similar situation, I'd probably be like, leave him the fuck alone. Come fuck with me, kind of thing. And
that's exactly what it did.
Yeah. And so it did that we end up with him.
And so now we have a full-grown adult possessed, and
but not seeming to like remember. Like no one seemed to remember that he said that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, y'all were all fucking there
in the room.
You were literally like a foot away from him.
Maybe there were just
like
traumatized.
I don't think Lorraine was maybe nearby, and the like mom, but like the girlfriend was
there.
She was there. Ed was like going in and out of consciousness on the floor, or maybe Lorraine was like shitting her pants over him. Understandably, like her husband just like had a heart attack.
Yeah. Well, that girlfriend too, though, is one story in itself, because I mean, she was playing stupid the whole movie.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was just like, bitch, like y'all all heard this boy say, "Come into me," and then all of a sudden the little boy's healed. Like, what do y'all think happened? I mean, come on. Because, then everyone was just like, well, I don't know why he's acting like that. He's acting a little bit weird.
For real.
No shit.
No,
and then,
Johnny's got a demon in him.
He seemed to have no recollection that he said that for a little bit. And then all of a sudden he did remember. And I was like, well, what is going on with y'all? Like, of course he's possessed.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy. Available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
It was, I think, just the lack of, like, I don't know where they were going with that.
I don't know
like,
either. I feel like maybe that is just a legitimate plot hole.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, we'll have him play dumb so that way the demon can lie like dormant a little while longer.
Yeah, to build more on this other story arc that we've got going on.
Yeah. And so then that way, it could grow and stuff. And then, then he offers like to the girl, he's like, let's get out of here. Let's leave.
Let's move out of town.
Because the Warrens are nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And so this demon's like, let's get the hell out of Dodge so they can't exorcise me.
Yeah,
Let
literally.
me keep using this vessel.
Because he wants to raise hell.
Yeah. And then no one's putting 2 and 2 together. And I'm like, no, what is wrong with y'all?
Even
Because he's clearly displaying like unnatural tendencies.
Well, I think, what is it? It doesn't happen until Lorraine has like another vision or something, and she's just like, something's wrong.
Yeah. I think it was when he actually commits the murder.
Oh, and he kills that guy. That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And so that is
A part of it.
actual fact. Like they were living above, they were renting an apartment above these kennels, dog kennels, and they were also simultaneously working there. And so the owner of those kennels, so their landlord essentially, they were hanging out with him just like it shows in the movie, you know, and that guy was being cracker. And I'm like, I would have stabbed him if I was sane.
Literally.
Not really, but
I mean, they told that actor to come in and just be level 10, obnoxious as hell,
Dick
and a drunk.
and just nasty. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I mean, he was coming on like to the girl, wasn't
Yeah.
he? So he was being inappropriate with her. I don't know if that actually happened in real life, but in the movie. And so obviously, yeah, like he was already, I believe factually, he was like crazy possessive of his girlfriend, and like kind of was like already like they're already married, but they're not.
Yeah.
But I guess
So
like,
that would have happened without the possession or not, is what you're saying.
it's like the moment you start touching his girl, he's like, no, that's
Back
mine,
off.
and I'm gonna stab you. But so that actually did happen. They were hanging out, and I do believe alcohol was actually involved. And then he ends up stabbing the man, walks off.
It was 26 times, right?
Yeah,
There was a
it was
certain amount.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a lot,
Yeah.
20 something for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then he walks off. I don't really know what happens to the girl in the movie, or like where she goes. Maybe she passes out or something, but because then he's just walking the streets bloodied. And like at this point, they're saying like, you know, he's in possession mode.
And the cop comes and pulls him, you know, walks up to him or drives next by him to him.
And that does actually happen as well. Like, I don't know if it happened like on a roadside, but he does get to the police station and it's essentially like, I think I hurt someone because he's covered in blood.
Yeah.
And
he
so
doesn't even remember.
He doesn't remember it, which is like, okay. And I've heard of like even weirder, like sleepwalking. People have killed people in their sleep.
Yeah.
Legitimately. Like there's this one guy who there's quite a few people who try to claim sleepwalking. But there's this one case where this guy, like, I think he just like, he definitely was not, he had to have been, I guess, conscious because he like drove a car.
Oh.
But he was not in his right mind. And he essentially murdered his parent-in-laws and has like no memory. And then once he came to, he drove himself to the police station and was like, I've done something terrible. I don't remember doing this. Like, I've had an issue of sleepwalking before. And he's like, I think
I just murdered my in-laws.
And brutally too.
Everybody's dream,
but
right
like
there.
he turned himself like immediately in. And so I feel like it was kind of a similar case with this guy, because he's like, I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and he didn't have a
I couldn't
recollection.
imagine.
And if you had like a dissociative episode or something where you literally detach from your physical self and some other part of you, like, I mean, mental illness is
very real.
And it's totally possible. Whether or not, you know, Demon actually did it is another case.
Yeah, it's a very hard, you know, especially back then too, I guess, because nothing like that was ever, you know, it was the first of its time.
Yeah,
so
it was
it's
the
like
first person to claim this.
And even too back then, mental health in itself, there are leaps and far beyond what we know now than we did back then.
Yeah, that was not the mental health issues like weren't a thing.
No, not
we
at
just
all.
Pretend they didn't exist.
And then
if they did, you locked them in
the loony bin house, and
which was overpopulated.
All kinds of shit would happen in those. You know, we've seen Ratchet,
Very
we've seen
awful.
Asylum,
Yes.
we've seen,
all of those terrible conditions. But yeah, so he actually did go turn himself in, stuff like that. Claimed to have no memory of it, which I can totally see. Was the first person to claim demonic possession, and because of that, it garnered worldwide attention. Like the entire world was actually focused on this case. Like people, I remember reading something that was like people from Switzerland, like all across news channels were calling in, trying to get interviews with him. But at this point, he was incarcerated.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, how are they going to prove it?
Yeah.
They had to put him in jail. Like, he still murdered someone. But he only served 5 of his 10 to 20 year sentence, I believe, is what it was. In actuality, I think in the movie, it was maybe like a couple months.
Something like that.
Yeah. It didn't feel very long.
I don't remember,
It
to
was,
be honest.
again, one of 4 storylines.
Yeah, and then we went on the storyline of we're missing a whole other character, John Noble, who played that creepy guy, who it was his daughter who was the witch.
Oh, right.
That whole storyline.
Yeah.
Of how they went to go see him, and he knew what was going
the
on
whole time, and he was just like, what? He said something about chicken shit or something, didn't he?
Something.
There's a weird, like,
I don't even know.
rooster
He was
line.
one really creepy. If I would have seen him, I would have said, no, let's have this conversation outside.
Yeah.
Not inside your house.
Yeah, and then, like, down in his weird little basement.
And even Lorraine was like, Ed, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
I don't
something's wrong
there's
down here.
Something really bad here. And he
I'm
also
like, trust your psychic fucking wife.
for real.
She knows shit.
He's been in a lot of other things, so he's a really good actor. So he knows how to
He
play
did a
that
great
very
job.
creepy, like
Yes, he was unsettling.
very
Like, just the
made
way
me
that
uncomfortable.
he talked. Yeah, I was like, ooh.
And even that in itself, like sometimes you don't even have to be like scared out of your mind, but just that feeling of unnerved and uncomfortable is horror in itself. You know?
Yeah. Because that's, I mean, honestly, I would probably, his character, I would classify as like one of the scarier aspects.
He was
of
the
that
actual
movie.
villain of the movie.
And
Well,
like,
he really was, because he knew what was happening.
knew,
and then at the
yeah.
end, when she goes back and confronts him again about it, he's like, I just couldn't because she's my daughter.
yeah, and he tries to like cover it up, or he eventually is like,
And then
okay, I
she-
should tell the truth.
And then she murders his
murders
ass
him right
so
there.
fast. She slices his neck like
she
a fish
didn't
fillet.
give 2 shits.
She literally,
And here he was trying to protect her.
literally.
And she was like, also, she looked weirdly old. Like, it gave me like reverse orphanage vibes, or the
yeah.
orphan, whatever that one
Or
was, where she was
maybe-
like 30 but looked like she was 15 or
But
whatever.
Maybe because like she
just
was
looked hella old.
whichever demons she was praising or trying to like bring back up, like
Draining her life.
Literally, they were not the good ones that gave her like the glamorous good skin.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna like sell your soul, like at least
least
get something
get pretty.
for
Yeah.
real. Like don't even not like what.
Give me no pores.
I think that's even the
Thanks.
more horror of it all. Is I think she was just doing for the thrill of it. She was just like, I love
She didn't give a
Satan.
fuck that she looked
said,
nasty.
Satan daddy.
Yeah, because we thought she was a man at first. We kept calling her daddy, didn't we?
Yeah.
The whole movie. We were like, ooh, what up, daddy? Because she like comes down and chokes Arnie or something
Yeah.
at first. And we were like, okay, daddy.
For real.
And then we realized, oh shit, that's a woman.
Still.
So kudos for being an androgynous character.
2021 can be whatever you want.
That's true. But
What's your pronoun? Possessed.
new. We'll have to add that.
Literally.
Then there's also the little boy. So they still keep following him. And it's like they go back to the beginning and kind of show how he got possessed and how this old character like kept kind of appearing to him. And the waterbed thing actually did happen. But so at this one point, it's like when they're moving into this house,
Yeah.
they find this waterbed that was left by a previous tenant. And the little boy is like, ooh, a waterbed, like any fucking 7-year-old is. Like,
Bloop.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
I was telling them, I was like, my brothers and I used to, those big old toy tubs
Yeah.
that you can store stuff in. We'd put it on the bed. One of us would get inside of it. They'd lock the lid, and then the other of us would jump on the waterbed.
And you just
So
be
it's like-
tumbling everywhere.
Yeah, so we were like a little ship at sea.
Yes.
And that was how we entertained ourselves.
I love that.
So like waterbeds are exciting.
They are exciting. My parents had one when I was younger too for a little while.
It's fun. Now I don't really want one after seeing the scene. Same with the haunting, which is based off of, it's got fucking Owen Wilson in it.
The Haunting?
Yeah, it's based off of like the same Hill House.
Okay.
It's one of the many films and stuff
Based off of
inspired
that, yeah.
off of Hill House. And it came out in, I think, either the late 90s or early 2000s. But I have a like petrifying fear of canopy beds because of that movie still.
It's stuck with
So
you.
yeah, we'll have to cover that one because
Okay.
it is one of my favorites.
I'll have to watch
still.
it. I haven't even seen that.
Okay, maybe we'll do that next week.
Yeah.
Actually,
see.
there's one.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Because then there's another one I want to also suggest.
It's a
there's
mixed
so
bag.
many.
It's a surprise. You'll just all have to stay tuned to see what we bring to you.
Yeah, because we don't want to commit ourselves to something again like this.
Commitment. Ugh.
Yeah,
That's
don't need
horror. Next week we're talking about commitment.
The true horror.
Oh, Lord.
But so this little boy, he finds this waterbed, and he's like sitting down on it, and he gets like he lays on it, and then all of a sudden the ghost comes up like behind him, and it's like sucking him into the bed or whatever.
Get the good SUCC.
Yep. Oh no. But apparently, in all actuality, what happened was he was standing in front of the bed, and then this old man, who is what comes to possess him, essentially pushes him onto the bed, and then he gets like trapped in the waterbed, and this man is like holding him down. And so that's what actually happened. But that's not as exciting or terrifying as something coming from within the waterbed.
And just snatching it in.
Yeah, because that was pretty creepy.
Both are traumatic though. So
Yes.
in and itself.
Yeah. Wouldn't prefer either of those things to happen to me.
Well, and then I also got very like Hitchcocky vibes too when he was in that shower tub, remember? At the beginning, and then there's the little demon hand you see at the top. And that's very like yeah.
I thought a little bit more was going to happen there.
Yeah.
That scene was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I did like that. And they did a good job with that kid. Like, I kind of wanted to see more of his actual possession.
Feel exactly. Maybe if they would have, it could have been a good 2-part movie. You're right, because it could have been a 3 and a 4, because they could have focused more on how that little boy and his possession and stuff and whatever.
And then got into the Arnie.
Part 2 go into how Arnie at the end, like a good ending scene instead of starting with that would have been at the end of the first, like would be Arnie
Coming
taking
to me.
in,
Yeah.
and then cliffhanger, and then starting on
Conjuring
with,
universe, hire us to rate your movies
literally,
from here
and
on
then
out.
going on to the next one, because they did also tie in that other girl. Remember that other girl who murdered her friend in the woods?
Oh, right.
Her lesbian lover, I think. Like 26 times she stabbed her. It's the same movie. It's the same movie.
I'm so confused. I need to watch it again.
You remember? Because Lorraine goes to go investigate, and she goes to that cop, and he tries to like, oh, if you're psychic, which knife is the one that...
Right.
And she chooses the right one. And
That's
he's like,
right. Okay, yeah, I do remember that. Mm-hmm.
So there's a whole other little plot there.
Yeah,
that was
too
going
much.
on.
It was so much to follow. And then my last qualm with the film
Lay it
was
down.
the acting. I was so confused because Vera Farmiga.
Vera Farmiga.
Farmiga. I always say Farmiga. Farmiga.
Farmiga.
Vera. She's a fantastic actress. In the Bates Motel like television series,
yes.
she was amazing. In the first 2 Conjurings, amazing. And then she came in and it was too many like kind of things.
You know,
and
Bunny, you know what that is? Baby, look at the material.
yeah.
That's the material right there. She said, honey, I'm going to give you what I can.
Yeah.
Look
We're
at the
gonna make
script.
this work. But yeah, the script, like, I don't know. And it was just, I don't know if they were rushed for production or something too, because it was just everything.
The pacing to me was off.
Yeah.
And that's really a juxtaposition of like what the other first 2 movies to me were. They pace themselves really well.
I mean, it's not right out the gate. You get to
the build, the
really
climax,
experience everything. Yeah.
It's all kind of happening at the right note and time.
And this one was just like,
because this one too,
boom,
like
boom, boom.
in the other movies,
But in a
I
bad
didn't.
way.
I would. You're there for the ride, right? And this one, I would feel myself like dipping off the ride, like, oh, it's kind
don't
of
really care. Yeah.
Oh, we're back again.
Is this
Oh,
over
okay.
yet?
Yeah. So I can see that.
yeah. And then the guy who helps with their sound equipment, he wasn't in the second one, I don't think, but he was in the first one. And I loved his character.
Yes.
And the first one, he was amazing. You know, he was kind of flirting with that girl, but I'm pretty sure he had some hardcore sexual tension with
the cop.
With the cop. And I shipped them. That would have been fun.
I shipped them too.
Small little country boy cop, you know, with his little handlebar mustache and his guns, and then like going for this cutie with a tight little booty.
With his 70s style.
Yeah, little bell bottoms. Yeah,
yeah.
loved him.
I had a crush on him. He was
Me too.
very cute.
He is so cute. And then in this one, I was like, he had never acted before in his life.
Literally.
I was like, what are you doing?
And then also too, it's
It
like
was
he
so
had.
bad.
Remember, they're going over like trying to put together how everything comes into relation geographically, like with, why is this all linked up, and he just happens to know, but it's because the trains don't run here at this time. And then it's like, buddy, here you are just perfectly giving us this good information when you
sitting here though. Yeah.
I think this movie relied on that, where it's like the trope of like, oh, we're going to go through all this and people had the whole information the whole time and we're going to learn later.
Yeah. And it just wasn't well executed. I mean, had maybe I not come in, I still think standalone, like if I hadn't loved the Conjuring movies beforehand, and I just happened to stumble across this one, or if it was the first one made, I still don't think I would have been the biggest fan of it. Yeah. It honestly probably would have prevented me from watching the other two.
You wouldn't have as big of a first. Yeah, standard for it.
Yeah. So
maybe that is the problem in itself. It's just, I said that so many times today in and of itself. But that's
it's a great phrase.
Maybe, our standard was just to, we gave the others a little bit too much.
They were on a little pedestal.
But they are good.
They are good.
They are very good.
Yeah, love them. So for me, it maybe got 2 boos.
2 boos from you?
2 boos.
That's a
maybe. And I'm talking the only other way I could go is down. I really did not enjoy it.
So for me, I think I'm willing to give it a good 3.5 boos. A 3.5 boo. Ooh. But
booba.
Yeah, a booba. Yeah, I think we decided on that last time, a booba. But I'll watch it again.
I probably
won't.
Like
if someone else wanted to watch it.
Oh yeah.
Not like just willingly by myself.
I did ask my dad if he had seen it, and he was like, "No, I need to." And I was like,
"You don't necessarily need to."
Yeah.
But if you still want to,
I was like, I still would recommend watching it just to watch it. Like, I mean, especially if you followed the whole series, because then I have heard people who really love it.
Yeah.
I'm just not one of those people.
Yeah.
That is my own opinion. Was not my fave.
I'm a hard middle.
A billion other horror movies I'd rather watch.
Yeah. Which we are going to get into.
Yes.
So super excited about that.
Yeah. So,
and there's even a lot of horror going on right now too, like that's coming out, and it's like not even like, usually stuff comes out Halloween-ish, more fall.
Yeah, no, there are some horror movies coming out that look pretty interesting.
There are, and there's stuff like on Netflix too that's been coming out too.
Netflix has been putting out some real good ones, and then especially now that they're getting into foreign, which is awesome. And then that's my whole favorite thing about Shudder is the collection of foreign films that they have on there. Chef's Kiss.
Chef's Kiss.
They are freaking good.
Okay.
Real good. So we'll definitely cover some.
Hear that, Shudder? Please sponsor us.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us. We
love you. I've already paid for the year, but if you want to come in with something else or give our listeners something.
Yeah. If you want to come in, 10% off their trial, they'd love that. We'd appreciate it. It gives us a lot more content to talk about.
Exactly. So as always, we are in
we want to be sponsored.
Yeah, please
sponsor us.
Anyways, we are in the lovely Rogue Media Network studios, and we are actually here today, and hopefully we'll be coming out with this soon.
Yeah.
Like our voices. I mean, I've told so many people, and they're like, I want to listen to this.
Literally, I've told so many people too, and like I've had one dude the other day be like, I tried to look up your podcast. I'm like,
it's not there yet.
It's not on air yet. We're getting, we're working on it.
So hopefully soon. I have a friend designing the cover art for us.
You
made the theme song.
I made the theme song.
And then we came in and put weird spooky sounds over it. So
I've got some more music coming for y'all. We've got some stuff on Instagram and on the social media.
So you can follow us at, right now it will be, so it's going to be Boobay's Podcast, all one word. And that's on Instagram. We don't have a Facebook at the moment, but maybe we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Who uses Facebook? I try not to open it now. And then eventually maybe we'll get into a Patreon to where we can do extra content. We are talking about, if you're in the Waco area, doing live shows and like live streamings in which we kind of narrate and offer our opinion on the film as it goes. So it's going to be interactive, like y'all can talk too, stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that. Maybe if you're a Patreon donor, you'll get free entrance or discounted entrance to it
or get to be up on stage with us and having your own interjection.
Exactly, because we gotta make money somehow, and so does Rogue Media.
And we're excited to meet y'all too and interact and have that,
Hear your opinions.
share of, horror. We just love horror. We want to meet more of y'all.
Yeah,
Freaky,
because I don't
spooky
have
people.
a lot of friends that actually want to talk horror films with me.
Same.
So you're my only one.
And we started a podcast.
Yeah. So there we go. If you love horror, join the discussion. Follow us on Instagram. You can find us on all of your really needed streaming platforms. You can find us on Apple.
You can find us on Spotify,
Yep. You can also find us on Google Play.
on Amazon Music or podcast.
I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Pandora.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure we also stream there. So we're literally wherever you listen, you can find us. And most importantly, do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe. That is the only way we can get anywhere in this world.
We need you.
Yeah. So it takes like 2 seconds,
Yeah.
hit 5 stars. Only 5
Only
boos.
5 stars.
Don't be
Yeah.
as harsh as we are on movies as us. Okay. But yeah, so rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends, and yeah,
Yeah, it was
tune
fun.
in next week to see which film we settled on.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one though, no matter what, because we need to talk about one I enjoy.
It'll definitely be that.
Yeah.
Boo for now.
Boo for now.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.